Hello, thank you for joining. We're just gonna wait 1 more minute to see if more people come in, and then we'll start ahead with our webinar. Thank you. Okay, so we will start now with our webinar. Thank you so much for joining today to our webinar, Campaign Inspiration to Engage, Grow, and Monetize Your Audience. Let me introduce myself. First, my name is Alejandra, and I am the host for today. I'm a customer success manager at Qualifio, and these are the logistics for today. Please keep in mind that you will receive a recording and a copy of the supporting material to your email after the presentation, after the webinar, and please feel free to type in your questions into the Q&A box that you can find in the lower part of your screen. So this is our agenda for today, and we're going to start with a brief introduction about the current challenges for media groups. Then we will continue talking about how Qualifio can help you achieve your digital marketing goals. Then we will see different examples of campaigns linked to these objectives or goals that you want to achieve. And then we will have a short Q&A session to answer to all your questions. So, as you know, in the media industry, we've seen big changes in recent years, changes especially in user habits. Obviously, we've transitioned from paper to digital, and we're seeing an ever-increasing rise in mobile and multi-device consumption. So, as you know, people now consume different type of content, not only in one device, but in multiple devices and even at the same time. And they also have different expectations. Now, audiences expect more personalized and interactive content and experiences. And of course, on the other hand, we have competition from technological giants such as Google or Meta, dominating the digital advertising market, which is also leading to a decline in traditional advertising revenues. And as a result of of all of these changes, we're seeing an evolution in the way users react and interact with your content. So the big challenge today, of course, is to master this digital transformation, which obviously began quite a while ago, but which continues to evolve. So the idea here is to master this digital transformation, and Qualifio is here to support you in every step of the way, while you build a solid relationship with your audiences. And Qualifio is here to help you in that transition, to master that transformation, and to do it through different stages. So, how can you achieve these goals? Uh, you, of course, will need to start by attracting these prospects by using interactive campaigns. So they're gonna visit your site, and then they're gonna become anonymous visitors. That you can qualify and do segmentation with, of course, then to send them personalized communications, content that appeals them most. And when you are able to do this, then they can convert into connected visitors. They can create an account on your site. And then, of course, the goal is that they turn into paid subscribers. So you want to convert these regular connected visitors, and you want to build a loyal and cost-effective community of subscribers. So we're going to share some actions and strategies, campaign examples that you can use to achieve all of these goals and to build a solid relationship with your audience. But before we continue, we wanted to ask you a question. So in case if you had to select one what would be your main digital marketing goal for the upcoming year? From the ones that we previously mentioned, is it creating engagement, qualifying your audience, monetizing them, or increasing your conversion rates? So if you could please help us answer to this poll, that would be great. Okay, I see some answers coming up. Thank you for participating. So as I can see here, you're interested mostly in creating engagement with your audience. So we're gonna move to that section, which is engaging, how you can go beyond traditional content and how you can truly engage new audiences by offering them interactive and captivating experiences that capture their attention and keep them coming back recurrently. So we're going to find, of course, that quizzes and surveys work really well. But we're also going to show you a few other examples. We're going to start with quizzes. We have an example from Energy, which is a popular radio station, and they created a theme quiz, taking advantage of COVID during the COVID period. Sorry, the saga of Harry Potter aired, so everyone was just really looking forward to rewatch or maybe watch for the first time the movies. So they created a quiz related to this topic that was huge. Everyone was talking about it. So this is a really great opportunity, or a really good example on how you can capitalize popular trends, topics, annual celebrations, or big events through team quizzes. And this campaign in particular got more than 607,000 participations, more than 150 percentage more of visited pages compared to the last 3 months for Energy, and then 50% more time spent on Energy's websites. Then we have another example, and this one was created by Happiness, which is a magazine that covers topics about lifestyle, spirituality. And here they had the idea of showing participants the card of the day. They really wanted to give their audience some insights. They want their participants to receive something meaningful. So in this case was a card of the day, but you can also take advantage of maybe other products, services, or type of content that really talks to your audience. So they can maybe reflect upon these topics, and you can start creating deeper connections with them. In this case, it was just with one click where participants will get the card of the day. And this was actually created with a quiz format. It might not seem like a quiz, of course, because you don't have the typical question and then answers. But they actually transform the way they created the quiz a little bit. And then they just selected to show the questions randomly. So every participant could get a different card. Um, and it was also a great opportunity for them not to only create this type of engagement really fast with just one click, but also include a form to start collecting data from their participants. Then here we have another example now about how you can create engagement through user-generated content. And this particular format was launched by Télé Loisirs. And they wanted to leverage the popularity of the La Casa de Papel series last season. So what they wanted to do was create a contest in which participants had to upload videos of them reacting to the new season, and they could also call and leave their opinions about it or their comments about it. So at the end, it's also really important to boost participation for this type of contests by offering prizes to winners. What they did was that they were offering Netflix gift cards, and also other winners could be featured in a podcast emission. So this strategy really shows how you can be or get creative. This generates authentic content, like more organic content, and of course, it strengthens the audience connections. It's a really good format to make them feel part of your community. And of course, these type of formats can also be translated for other media. Like journals, magazines, to gather opinions about specific or relevant topics or a specific type of content that you have on your site. Here, keeping with the idea of creating closer relationships with your audience, we have an example created by SBS in which they encourage audience participation by allowing viewers to submit their questions through a streaming platform. Then they will select the most interesting questions, and the host will ask the questions live during the program. So this was a really good way to link the real and the digital world, create a more dynamic and interactive experience for the audience, and of course make them once again feel directly involved with your content. This can also be replicated in other ways. You could ask, for example, to your audience which type of content you would like to see next, or which type of content would you like to see more, and also make your audience play an active role in the content creation process. Now we move forward with another example from a Spanish journal, Marca. Here they asked questions around soccer related topics, and the idea was to rate different aspects of the Spanish soccer team. People had to answer to these questions, and then the voted answers will be featured in the headline of the printed newspaper, the printed version of the newspaper. So once again, a good way to break that bridge between the digital and real worlds. This was a campaign that boosted engagement. People actually felt included in the creation of the headline of the newspaper. And this campaign got more than 170K participations. And other ideas with the same format could be, for example, asking to your audience what do they think about a certain topic, or what do they think that is the best topic or the best news story of the week, of the month. What's their opinion about a specific personality, about a person, and then you can start creating articles based on their opinions, to really give this impression of them being fully part of the media's decision making process. Then here we have a more gamified quiz that works really well in terms of engagement, which is the quiz with instant checks. And this really helps you to increase the time your audience or your readers spend on your page, on your site. You can ask questions, or you can just upload an image like we see on this example. And they, of course, need to answer correctly. All the words of the letters of the word need to match. Straight away, they know if they answer correctly or not. So this obviously gives a sense of accomplishment, and it also allows the participant to see a progression. Therefore, they want to stay on the page until they finish the challenge. Let's say like this. This also works well with another format that we have, which is sudden death, quiz with sudden death. And the idea is that if you don't answer correctly to one of the questions, then you're out of the game. So participants have to come back, They tend to come back because they want this sense of accomplishment until they get all the answers right. And here in this particular example, we have a picture and people had to find 30 film references. So of course you can use this same type of format, and link these type of quizzes with emissions, broadcasts, articles, or obviously any type of popular section in your magazine on your site. And then we have here another gamified idea, which is a memory game. This one was created by RTBF in Belgium around the show The Voice. And what's interesting about this memory game is that you had to match the contestant with the song that they had previously sung live. So when we usually think about a memory game, we think about matching photos, matching pictures, but you can also do something different, and change it, for example, to test the knowledge of your audience about a certain topic. You can ask them, for example, who said this, who did this, and then try to link them together, have them find the perfect match. So this is just another form, another type to do a test for your participants. And what can be really interesting as well is trying to have a 360 view of an event, and like a big topic or important news. And this is what we see here with Télé Loisirs, which created different type of formats for their popular reality show Colanta. They created personality tests, memory games, quizzes, voting campaigns. So they really took advantage of the fact that it's really popular. They have a big audience, a wide audience, to focus their content on just one topic, but with different type of formats. People really love to interact with content in various formats. So yeah, it's really a good way to engage your audience around just a single topic. And now we want to ask you another question, now that we saw a couple of examples. Based on what you saw before, since you mentioned that many of you mentioned that you wanted to increase the engagement, which formats do you think that have the greatest potential to engage your audience? Is it the interactive thing, quizzes, the polls, user-generated content, the quizzes, or gamified content? So we want to know, what do you think about these formats that we just presented? So we see that user-generated content is the most popular one. Of course, this is the one that usually creates a stronger link and deeper connection with the audience. Thank you for participating. Now we're moving forward to our second section, which is the possibility of segmenting your audience and creating personalized content for them. So now that you have their attention, how can you still make them like to come back, so you can start collecting data from them to then send them personalized content or communications. So the audience can actually be segmented in a general way while still keeping your audience anonymous. So you can really segment the base of your audience. You can start getting information about, for example, if in your audience are more females, males, in which range of age they are right now. And this is what the journal AS from the group PRISA did. Throughout the year, they ask different type of questions, very short questions to their audience. So they added forms that allow them to collect this type of information progressively. They had more than 3 million participations in 1 year. And here, obviously, what you can do is limit participations by IP addresses. So you really get a, a more accurate idea of your audience and of your database. You start building a more solid database, more interesting database. What they did was that they used all of this information to send it to their DMP, to their data management platform, to be able to use this collected data and then start segmenting their audience. This work then to create content according to the different type of audiences that they had, and this work to offer more personalized advertising. And of course, this is an advantage as well, because this is with this information is where you can start seeking contracts or partnerships with brands that might be interested in the information that you have. Another great way to segment your audience is through personality tests. And here we see an example created by L'Étudiant. What they did was created a personality test with multiple questions and output profiles that provided personalized recommendations to the participants. They actually used an advanced form that included conditional fields, and that's how they could get a more accurate sense of their participants, accurate knowledge of their participants, to then deliver them tailored content. So what conditional forms do, for example, with this particular case was if a participant said that they were a high school student, then they will have certain type of questions. If another participant said that they were a university student, they will have different type of questions. So these worked really well for personalizing the user experience while collecting valuable data for you, so you then can refine future offerings. And then also target in the future your offers with content that is more suitable to the different type of audiences that you have. And at the end, of course, this also helps build up a loyal audience, because thanks to this information, you speak directly to them and to their centers of interest, of course. Then we have another example, which is the question of the day. And this worked perfectly for the newspaper RTL in Luxembourg. Through several months, this journal published specific questions on their site every single day. There were very, very short questions, very easy to answer, and this helped them create this engagement, commitment. Because with just one click, for example, what we see on the screen, it's what's your opinion on making a road safer in Luxembourg? They just had four options. They can answer really quick, but of course that you can use this type of format to ask anything. They did other questions related to what was their opinion of the readers, for example, on the ban on smoking at bus stops, on free transportation, predictions for soccer matches, their preference about Android or Apple, for example, certain brands. So as you can see, it's very diverse. It can really be about anything. They collected preference and opinions on a huge number of subjects. And with this information, they could also create articles based on these subjects, and to the expectations of what they said. Here with these type of formats, you'll be able to find out a little bit more about your readers, audience, and of course, as we saw before, start seeking those partnerships or collaborations with brands or other organizations that might be interested in the same topics as your audiences. And then obviously, audience segmentation is possible and more seamless thanks to a single thanks to a single sign-on. So if you, by activating an SSO, data collection is simplified. And as a result, it's very easy for your users to create an account on your site, but also it's easier for them to be more eager to respond to your questions and participate in your campaigns. So with a single SSO, of course, participants now don't have to answer, I don't know, multiple questions. They just log in. And since you already have their data, you can start profiling and actually start asking little by little more questions to get to know them better. But yeah, this is a great example of how you can get complementary information from your users and make data collection easier for them. So now that we finished with section 2, we wanted to ask another question. What do you think that will be the most effective strategy for you for segmenting your audience? We know that we have different type of media groups here in the webinar. So but depending on your goals, for example, what do you think that will work best for you? Okay, so we see the SSO. This plays a big part, as we said before, because this makes the whole experience easier for your participants. And yeah, they're actually eager to give you more information with this type of connection. Once again, thank you for participating. Now we come to the third section, which is the segmentation, the conversion part, sorry, which is, of course, the most important one. You want to convert your unknown visitors and prospects into paying subscribers. But how can you actually achieve that? So one of the strategies to do it is, once again, involving your audience in creating content. So we see another example from The Voice here, and the idea that this group was to launch a contest in which participants had to submit a video of them singing. Everyone could send their video and then people could vote, but people could only register and vote if they logged in or if they created an account. Of course, they had their SSO activated to make connection easier, but this just show us a good way to start collecting new profiles, new registrations that later, of course, if they are engaged with your content, can convert into paying subscribers. Another great idea is to set up a dedicated section on your website for active contests or raffles. This is what Marie Claire with the magazine Cosmopolitan did. They have a dedicated page, sorry, on their site only for contests and raffles. They have multiple partnerships with brands that appeal to their audience. And these people can only access to this contest if they are registered. If they see, for example, that there are multiple active campaigns and they want to increase their chances of winning, of course they're gonna register to participate. And you could also use this opportunity to collect key data such as names, emails, addresses, and also include some opt-ins for communications, of course, for you and for your partners. Following the same idea of the contest, profile creation via contest is something that we see quite often. And if you partner, for example, with a relevant brand or organization to offer a valuable prize, like the Journal de Montréal did, to celebrate a milestone or a special occasion, this can work really well. They were celebrating their 60th anniversary, and participants had to log in or create a profile on their website, fill out an entry form with their personal details and preferences, and then answering questions, a daily question or a trivia related to their content. So this was a really good strategy that encouraged user signups. It drove engagement, and of course, it provided a rewarding experience to the audience. But yeah, this is just a great idea to boost registrations, and of course, highlight something important for you or for your audience. Now we have another example from RTL, which builded exclusive club for members. So they have exclusive contests, and this section was only for subscribers. Of course, that the system recognizes if you're subscribed or not, and if you can take part in the contest or not. And this, of course, encourages people not only to sign in, but perhaps they want to take out a subscription in order to take part of the contest. So not only to engage with your content or read your articles or watch your videos, but maybe if they see active campaigns in which they can win prizes or win rewards, they will say, well, yeah, why not? So yeah, this is just another good way to boost registration and subscriptions. We have another example from another newspaper, HLN in Belgium. They partner with Decathlon. And here the idea was to attract as many prospects as possible while giving away prizes from Decathlon. And with a Wheel of Fortune, which is a very used format because, of course, participants will know within seconds if they win or not. Another interesting thing was that the newspaper was also giving a free 6 month subscription to them, to their content. And of course, when participants have 6 months for free, there is a general tendency to convert their subscription. So of course, the possibilities of getting new paid subscribers increases with these type of contests. Here now we have an example of a calendar. So how to go from registered profiles to subscribers. And we have a calendar that was created for Valentine's Day by Elle Magazine. And of course, these type of calendars are designed to create daily commitment, daily engagement around a certain event. But of course, they can also be used around a launch of a product, a service, or a new section on your website, for example, because this really creates this excitement around something in particular. Um, and what they did was that they have dedicated or exclusive boxes in the calendar for paid subscribers. But if you already created this excitement and people are coming every single day to check what's behind, so maybe they can think about subscribing to also see what's behind those exclusive boxes. Another great way to convert your audience, sorry, is creating a rewards program. So at Qualifio, we also have rewards programs. Here we have the example of France TV, which uses the reward program to encourage recurrent engagement. And the idea is to build loyalty to the media by sharing data. So, of course, that they will ask their audience a few questions about themselves, and if they reply to these questions, they will start earning points. After a while, they will be able, of course, to exchange these points for rewards. And here, the idea, of course, or a bit the challenge as well, is to be able to update content on a regular basis to keep the audience engaged, coming back. And it's not only about data collection, but of course, you can create rules reading. For example, they can earn points by reading an article or X amount of articles, by watching X amount of videos, or by interacting with certain type of content on your site. And you can also include rules like Lavener did, they have paid subscribers in the rewards program, sorry, earn the double amount of points opposite to someone who is not subscribed, of course. So paid subscribers have more points and exclusive access to contests with really interesting prizes like the one that we see on screen. This program was created to boost subscribers loyalty. And yeah, as I did before, it's really up to you to set up the rules that you want and to see what works best for you, both for collecting data and of course for having your audience and readers interacting with your content. So now that we saw these, we wanted to take this opportunity to talk about something, a new feature that Qualifio will have in the upcoming months, which is a campaign wall and a play hub. A campaign wall is one space where you will be able to publish multiple Qualifio campaigns in an automated way. You can use it as a centralized place for all your campaigns, helping participants participate more. Of course, you want them to keep participating. So if they see that everything is just in one site, there's more chances for them to participate, register, and then continue with the whole funnel that we saw at the beginning. So you have a space to publish your live campaigns, and you can also create sneak peeks of the campaigns that will be launched or released soon. And with the Play Hub, what you can do is add gamification elements to your campaign wall. You can display multiple campaigns, give points for participations, include rankings, levels, and you will have the possibility as well to give away prizes every now and then to the top participants to incentivize more participation in all your campaigns. Just one second. Is the question, I'm just gonna answer it live before I forget, sorry, before we move on to the next section. Is the question of the day available in the Qualifio catalog? Okay, so it's not an actual format, but the format is a quiz. It's just a normal quiz. But since this is repeated every single day, what you can do with Qualifio, of course, is just create your quiz and then you start duplicating the same campaign. So you don't have to start every day from zero. You have a campaign that you can flag as a model, which is just a regular quiz, and then you can duplicate it. And then just change, of course, the content of the questions and answers, but this is just a quiz. So I'm gonna share one last question with you. If you want to participate, which actions would you consider using next in your strategy to increase your number of registered users and subscribers? What do you think that will suit your media, your journal, your magazine for actually getting more subscribers and registrations? Okay, so I see answers, of course, in the contest, rewards program, which are very interesting. So your subscribers can get exclusive benefits. Okay, thank you for answer to this question. Now we're gonna move forward to our last section, which is how you can monetize your campaigns and start collaborating with partners. So here we see another example from El Magazine. This magazine is very well known for having creating different type of personality tests. Is part of their identity, and this time they partnered with Kia. They wanted to create a personality test to ask their audience to help them find their best match when buying a car. So what they did here was, of course, promoting products from the brand directly. They also collected communication opt-ins, and they also collected preferences from the audience, so then they could send them personalized message. It's very simple. As you can see, they transformed the whole test with the visual identity of El Magazine. And these type of formats work very well for them. We have another example more into the editorial side. This was created by Pulse 24. And what they did here was created an article about healthy food and healthy eating habits. But what they did was that they integrated a short quiz within the article to engage readers so they could learn more about their preference and habits. And they also paired it with an interactive game, which was a memory game. This time they partnered with a company called Feel Food. So what they did in the memory game was, of course, promoting the products of this brand. And this is a great strategy that encourages visitors to spend more time on your site while they read, while they reply, while they answer to your questions, while they play the game. And of course, it also boosts brands' visibility in a fun and engaging way. We have another example here, which are the sponsor battles. And this can be very interesting around also key moments in the year in the marketing calendar. Here we see the example of Black Friday. This was created before Black Friday. And what you can do with these battles is segment customers. You can find out more about their preferences, their purchasing habits, what they like, what they don't like about a brand, their favorite products or services. So it's a way, of course, to do product promotion, but as well to collect key insights from a brand, from each participant center of interests, and of course, opt-ins again for communication for your partner and for yourself. Another good example are calendars. Of course, advent calendars are very popular during Christmas, is a key format to create engagement in a daily basis. And Christmas is a perfect time to create various partnerships. This is how you can propose exclusive spaces to your sponsors to highlight their products or their services. And of course, if you have more brands, you will be able to attract a wider audience, to attract more prospects that identify with the different brands that you're promoting in these spaces. It's great for you, of course, but it's good for your partners as well, since this is launched in key moments of the year where people are really looking for content or to win something, of course, especially around Christmas. Another good example are surveys. And this is interesting to propose to your partners in order to provide them with qualified data. Here we see a survey that was carried out by Media House in partnership with a car show in Belgium. So there were a few questions to get the opinions of the audience, to get information about their interests, their needs, their purchasing motivations, and so on. And this obviously allows, this type of formats allow you to collect qualified data that you then can give to your partner, of course. And then you can really stimulate a maximum of participation with these type of formats that revolve around a big event, an important event. Here we have another editorial example that was created by the magazine Femina in partnership with Sanofi. What they did here was that they partnered with an organization that was supporting different causes. And what participants had to do here was voting for the cause that like spoke to them the most. So it was a good way, of course, to increase the time that they spent on your page while they read all the causes, then they take the time to vote. But of course, in the back of this is raising awareness and fostering this sense of community around an important topic for your readers. We have a gamified example here again, which is a swiper, a sponsor swiper that was created by Courrier International in partnership with a language school. And this swiper was 100% winning. And of course, that people love to win without any risk. So 100% winning formats work always really well. They obviously attract a huge number of participants. And it's a dynamic format that also helps you attract a lot of participation, and it allows you to collect important data for you and for your partners. And last but not least, we have a memory game again. But here, what we wanted to highlight is that local brands can work really well with big brands. Local broadcasters, sorry, or media groups can work really well with big brands. Here we have a partnership with BTV, which is a local broadcaster from Barcelona, which created a partnership with Danone. And as you can see here, there's really no product promotion. So behind this, we don't see any products. It was all about highlighting the values of this event that Danone was sponsoring. What they wanted to do was using this local connection, this strong presence that BTV had with a community, to then create this engaging game and highlight the values of the event they were sponsoring. And that's it for the topics that we wanted to cover, the strategies that we wanted to show you to help you build this type of relationship with your audiences, from the engagement process until the loyalty. And here we just wanted to promote as well other webinars that we have every 2 weeks on Thursdays at 11 a.m. European time. These webinars are really focused for new end users of the platform. This webinar covers navigating the Qualifio interface, creating your first campaign, checking your campaign settings, and how to create content, and how to also set up the visual design of your campaign, how to create forms and opt-ins that are key for data collection. And of course, we have always a Q&A session. So I don't know if any other person has other questions apart from the one that we already answered. I will give you a few minutes in case that you have any questions. You can type them in the box, but if there are no questions, I just wanted to say thank you for connecting today. In case that you have any questions, of course, you will get an email from me with the slides and the recording, and you can then send me your questions, reply if you feel the need that you want to discuss any further topics. But I think that's it. That's it for today. Thank you so much for joining us. And I will leave you with a short survey about this webinar. Maybe if you want to see other type of inspiration about different topics, this is a place where you can leave us your opinion and tell us what you think. But yeah, that's it for today. Thank you so much.